Hello guys. Hope you can see me well and hear me well. Um, just uh, just test. Let me know if everything's good. Yeah, send me a ping. Okay. Seems like we are on and we are live. Anyhows, so I guess let's start with a presentation of myself and who am I presenting and who we are like in general. So my name is Mike. I'm a CEO of Binary Future. We're a Shopify Plus and headless development team focused on building fast, scalable e-commerce experiences for growth stages and enterprise brands. Work with complex catalogs, custom architectures, performance-heavy storefronts, and global multi-market setups. So why we decided to, and I decided to set up this session at the first place, is because we helped like multiple different brands throughout like these years, the past few years actually, to migrate from WooCommerce, Magento, BigCommerce, some custom built legacy systems into stable, high performing Shopify and Shopify Plus environments. We've seen a lot. Like we've seen a lot of setups, different types of architecture. We've seen how things can be bad and chaotic instead of like structured, well built checkout systems, right? And this session, like at the first place, exists to show you how to migrate to Shopify without breaking your SEO, without losing any data or slowing down your performance, and how eventually you will turn migration into long-term growth advantage. And I think this is what everyone's here is down to. So yeah, uh, well, basically, um, I think the main concern and the main misunderstanding of the brands regarding migration is most of the people, most of I don't know, even experts, so-called experts, they think that migration is pretty much simply export and import. In reality, it's rebuilding data, logic, UX, integrations, and SEO from the ground up. And if we will talk about SEO a little bit later. So we're not rebuilding it from the ground up. Basically, we're migrating it, keeping the positions, but at the same time, the migration needs to be done very carefully and properly. And if you don't know like small details, that can be a disaster. And I've seen that in the past. So the chaos starts when teams discover how many hidden systems the old platform was holding together, and that's very scary when there is no documentation, when the old team left the project in a shitty state, when like nobody knows how things operate, or like there is a core business logic that nobody has, like they have no idea how it's structured and how it works from A to Z, and you have to figure it out. But again, if you're in like good hands like us, you don't have to worry about it. So when we enter a project, clients usually expect a smooth switch, and this is what we give them. What they don't expect is that every platform hides years of accumulated complexity, right? And again, this is something that we are unrolling during the discovery phases, during the planning, and all those necessary stages. So I think let's talk about a little bit about why brands migrate in the first place. So I guess that the answer would be obvious for most of you, but just to highlight, uh, well, first things first, their current platform it can become too slow, too expensive, or too hard to maintain, and this is usually um, related to old school legacy systems, especially if they were custom built on Joomla or Magento 1.0 and was never migrated, and it was cluttered with bunch of integrations and code. So yeah, I mean, I've seen that nightmare. I've seen people were even quitting their positions when they were working like in such environment for too long. They were giving up on the projects simply. Another reason would be scaling breaks the old architecture. It performs drops, integrations fails, feature cap out. So that's another big thing. And I think another one would be that marketing teams they want more agility, uh, meaning that faster content updates, landing pages that would be created like in the matter of hours, not weeks or months, and experimentation, which are usually like we're talking about A/B tests, we're talking about like fast feature setups and so on. So something out of the box that can be plug and play. And usually brands outgrow their tech stacks and need like some platform, some reliable partner for long-term growth. So most migrations they start not because a platform fails, but because the business outgrows what platform can realistically support. So that's like I think top reasons why people think even about migration in the first place. So main challenges, and if we're talking about main challenges, I think we slightly um, touched that point. But let's say, and I already told about SEO, but keeping SEO redirects and traffic stable during the switch, that's one of the big challenge. Migrating complex product, customers, and order data without errors, that's another big challenge, especially if you, um, I'd say, overcomplicated certain stuff. If the data is not consistent, if it was stored in like bunch of different databases, that's then it all has to be mapped, it all has to be set up like properly and then migrate to Shopify, because Shopify it provides you a certain structure and certain rules how the data should be stored. So we need to obey them and like follow them at all times. But once it's structured forever. That's what I can say for sure. Then another thing is rebuilding custom logic, apps, and integrations that the old platform had. Those are a problem as well, and they need like special attention. Because say Magento, right? That's like huge shops with custom logic, with some custom application that were built throughout the years. Now we need to migrate them, and we need to not just to take the code and, like I said, copy paste it. We need to figure out how it worked, what are the modern approaches that we can implement along the line, not just taking the old thing and to drag it all together to the new setup, but to actually move it properly, rebuilding things and making sure that they follow the best practices, and also ensuring the UX and performance improve, not break, right? Because again, this is not what you would expect as a client. Most of the risks in migration isn't technical. It's the chain reaction that happens when any small part of the system fails. So I guess those are like big things. Moving on, let's talk about like why Shopify is so good and how it can scale up your whole experience. So I think we should start as that Shopify is a stable and scalable platform built for growth, not patches. And it's there by default, and it's already set up. There are like no new things that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Let's put it this way. It's also lightning fast checkout with industry leading conversion rates. And checkout is one of the big thing about Shopify. It's super safe, it's secure, it never been broken or hacked by anyone. Like at least the last 5 to 10 years. So I've been with Shopify 10 years, since, well, 12 actually, since 2014, and I never heard that somebody hacked Shopify and stole like the money and stuff. So, or like hacked their database and stole like all the data about their customers or like their leads, right? Which sometimes happens like with big companies, but not with them, which is a huge plus and plays into their advantage. Now it's a flexible ecosystem. It has apps, APIs, headless, and like it has Shopify Plus tools. So all that forms a huge um, mass of useful stuff that can be connected together and ease the life of yours and your customers, obviously, and improve their purchase experience. And it's also like global ready infrastructure with low maintenance overhead. Needless to say about the Shopify markets, which provide you with multi-currency, multi-language, ability to split the taxes for different countries, and so on and so forth. So Shopify removes the complexity brands used to manage manually. So you don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to like keep an eye like on certain things at all times. It's already there. It's manageable like in few clicks. So teams can scale without constantly rebuilding their tech stacks. And that's big as well because you don't have to spend like thousands of dollars for constant improvements. So the migration, I'm gonna talk about it. Like the framework is pretty simple. We usually start with discovering an audit, clarify the current state, risks, and opportunities, how you can benefit from Shopify, where certain things need to be rebuilt or redone, where we can just copy paste them or connect them as is, and so on. So again, this is this and it's discover and audit phase. Moving on, we continue with the data and architecture planning, which map products, customers, logic, integrations, and so on and so forth. After that, we're moving to design and UX rebuild. We create a clean, scalable user experience, which is like, again, a perfect timing to lift up your UI and UX, which eventually will improve your conversion rate. Development and integration, that's the next step. When we implement features, apps, APIs, and the backend logic. And basically, that's pretty much it. The last but not least, that's we're finalizing all that with testing, launching, and eventually support and scale. When we ensure the stability, when we're pretty much I would say certain about that SEO was migrated properly, and we can go live smoothly. So these are like the main steps. That's the framework that we follow at all times for all the small and complex migrations. So let's talk about those steps like a little bit in depth. Discovering audit. So we start with understanding the current platform, data structure, and hidden dependencies. Identifying performance issues, UX gaps, and integration risks, then mapping what must be migrated, rebuilt, or removed, and we actually finalizing this whole step with setting up clear goals and realistic migration scope. And this is very important because like most of the teams, they're trying to skip the step and they don't know how to be vocal about how important it is and how to say be, I don't know, persuasive, and get the client to go like through those I would say to hop through those hoops just because they want to shorten like the whole project. They don't want to overcharge the client. Some clients they think that it's unnecessary. But before building a house, do you need a plan? Do you need an architecture? Absolutely yes. So this is what we're doing here, like during this exact phase. And discovery is where we turn chaos into clarity. Before writing a single line of code, we figure out how the existing system works, where the risks hide, and what the future Shopify architecture should look like. So, absolutely essential. The next step, data and architecture planning. And here again, we are mapping all products, customers, and order data with clean structure. We define the new Shopify architecture, which is collection, meta fields, logic, etc. Because Shopify has its own structure, and even though it's flexible, it has its own limits and frames, which again we should respect at all times. Plan redirects and SEO prevention strategy. I'm sorry, that's not prevention of failure strategy. Decide which integration stays and which we are replacing, and some of them, which of them we are rebuilding, and finalizing that all with building the foundation for scalable performance and automation. This stage is so important because this is where the migration truly takes shape. We restructure the brand's entire data ecosystem, design a scalable Shopify architecture, and eliminate the legacy complexity that caused problems at the first place. So basically, we're making sure that in future, when everything's done, the data is structured, the third-party connections are there, the SEO is back on track after the migration is done, and so on. So let's move on to design and UX rebuild. That's basically when we create a modern, intuitive, conversion-focused interface. We're rebuilding navigation, products pages, and checkout flow for clarity and speed. Again, your old systems, they could have lots of I don't know, outdated solutions in terms of like the flow and the client's path to the checkout, right? Like marketing teams, they usually experiment, and they sometimes they forget to cut down certain experiments from live. So it all's gonna be, you don't want to reflect that in your new build. So we're taking care about cleaning that up for you. We prioritize mobile first designs and seamless user journeys. We match brand identity while improving performance and usability, and we're replacing outdated UX patterns with scalable Shopify native components, which again, if you think about it, Shopify provides tons of things out of the box, and you don't want to build custom as much as possible because potentially you're moving from custom builds, right? So you want to reuse and reuse what Shopify offers as much as possible. So this is where the migration becomes a transformation. We don't copy the old store, we redesign it to feel cleaner, faster, and more intuitive, keeping the brand's personality while fixing every UX pain point users struggle before. And again, this is the perfect time, and you are migrating, you're rethinking the whole process, and it's the perfect time to rethink like the flows, the sales flows, some funnels, the UX, the approaches, and experiment more. And it's a lot easier at this point. You won't have to like spend tons of time and arm and leg to do that. It's gonna happen organically, I'd say. Um, so development and integrations. Again, this is another important step, like which is inevitable, I'd say. We implement the new Shopify architecture. This is actually like we start with the design, we're thinking the UX and UI, and then we implement that. We're integrating applications, APIs, CRMs, like loyalty, marketing tools, like all that, making sure that it works smoothly, just like it was before on your old system. And if it didn't, then we're making sure that it works as it should. We're rebuilding custom logic previously hidden in legacy code. We're setting up automations for products, inventory, and workflows, and obviously ensuring performance, stability, and scalability across all the systems. Now, the stage, by its nature, is where we store. Is where the store becomes a real functional ecosystem. We replace fragile legacy scripts with clean, scalable Shopify logic and integrate every external system to the new platform, so it can work as a one cohesive engine. And again, Shopify was built for this purpose. It has so many things out of the box that works great all together, and they were designed to work together. That that there is like no frictions. A good example would be the POS. Like Shopify has its own POS system, which is very flexible. Tons of shops they use it, and it's not third party. It's not like a side service. So yeah, I think that's the best example over here. Now, I think let's talk about the assets framework migration. Um, so migrate and rebuild theme assets like images, scripts, styles into Shopify optimized format. So again, it has like certain structure, it has certain rules, and you cannot just dodge them or avoid them. You gotta follow it. We're converting legacy layouts into modular Shopify 2.0 sections and blocks. Sometimes, if the setup is headless, then it might be like React or Vue.js, like stored on Vercel, but the meaning is the same. We clean up redundant code, heavy libraries, and outdated frameworks, normalizing assets naming and folder structure for long-term maintenance. And obviously, we're rebuilding custom components using Liquid, JSON templates, or Hydrogen if headless, right? So it's all done on this step. And needless to say that asset migration is where most hidden issues surface. Old frameworks, heavy scripts, I don't know, some messy file structures that don't belong to the new store. So we take all that and rebuild them cleanly to ensure a fast, modern, and stable Shopify experience. Moving on, like to the last step, the last but not least important, that's test and launch and scale. Again, this is where we're doing the full Q&A across the whole UX, performance, checkout, and obviously mobile, because we were mobile first and we praise mobile first approach. We verify redirects, SEO, and indexing before the launch. We do the load test to the storefront and integrations to ensure stability, because obviously like some certain things may work great when there's just one product or one catalog, but is it enough for testing? No, it's not. So we're making sure that it works stable and nicely, even when like the whole store gonna be loaded with like 9,000 products, I don't know, 100,000 products. We even have a store which is 3.5 million products. So, and it works. It works great. Shopify will support. I'd say I never reached a limit. So we had like pretty huge builds, and uh, it feels like that Shopify is limitless. Anyhow, yeah, that's on a side note. Um, so again, just moving on, we monitor real-time metrics and optimize post-launch, and we prepare the store for growth. It means automation, performance tuning, and scale-ups. This is where we turn months of work into a stable, high-performance Shopify store. A clean launch isn't luck. It's always the result of planning, testing, careful SEO handling, and scaling plan that keeps the store fast even under the heavy traffic, which sometimes happens, especially like during those um, Black Fridays or Cyber Mondays. Yeah, you name it. Christmas, holidays, where when people are getting nuts. Some of the stores, they make more than 50% of their whole year revenue during like this, I don't know, 1 month, right? So yeah, I mean, we just want to make sure, and we need to make sure that it's gonna work well when time comes. So when SEO preservation plan, again, this is for some stores, especially for those that spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars and been in the market for like 10, 15, 20 years. Some of them, they want to make sure that they will take their SEO with them to that new setup, right? Because otherwise that's gonna be a huge fail. And like I said, I've seen that. We've been hired to clean the mess after other teams, and we learned some lessons. So one of the big things about SEO preservation plan would be preserve ranking with a complete 301 redirect map, migrate metadata, schema, and structure content cleanly, rebuild URLs architecture without breaking existing indexation. And this is very important because Shopify, again, as a system, it has its own limits. I mean, luckily and unfortunately at the same time, because you cannot replicate certain patterns of URLs into a new store. You would have to work things around it. So next, we're validating internal linking inside hierarchy post migration. We resubmit sitemaps and verify health of the search console. Of the search console, obviously, to make sure that it's connected, and inside of it, that everything was resubmitted. And we'll maintain traffic stability through control launch plus monitoring. So SEO is usually the biggest fear, like during migration, and the most preventable risk. With a proper redirect map, clean metadata transfer, and real-time monitoring, brands can migrate to Shopify without losing visibility or traffic. I mean, in most cases, you would see the drop. It might happen like because like some of the new URLs won't be indexed, the UX UI could be changed and so on, but then there would be a spike back. So I guess, um, I mean, you shouldn't, at least if I were you, I wouldn't plan the migration process for important dates. Again, like Black Friday or Cyber Monday or New Year, right? It should be done like somewhere um, when it's the dead season. And the dead season can be different for different domains, for different shops. So we will work with you together to identify the best timing. Um, yeah, I think let's talk a little bit about the design that converts. So, what we should keep in mind is clean layouts and clean hierarchy guide users to action. Strong PDP structure improves decision making and reduce friction. Optimized navigation helps customers find what they need faster, and this is very important. Nobody wants to sit there and surf through your website for hours, right? They have an intention, they see what they need or what they want or what they crave for, and they buy it. So the visual storytelling builds trust, emotion, and brand consistency. And UX choices that feel simple on the surface often drive the biggest lift in conversions. In reality, we are all shoppers, right? We all buy things, we all buy online, and that's in our culture these days. So most of the people, they have this natural, I would say, feeling. Not all of them though, but I'd say most of them can identify which things would work for them at least, and in most of the time that would work for the big part of their clients. So design isn't just decoration, it's how users understand the product, trust the brand, and move through the purchase journey. A well structured Shopify experience consistently outperforms visual complexity by confusing interfaces. Um, so yeah, I think let's again move on to speed and performance, and that's again some super important thing, because nobody wants to wait while your website is loading, unless that's some super rich with animations and like I don't know, video, and it's worth waiting. But again, if I'm a first time user, I don't know if it's worth or not, and I'd better like close the whole thing and we'll look for someone whose website loads much faster. So the faster load times um, directly increases conversion and trust. So this is what I was talking about. Um, it eliminates, well, what we do is we're eliminating heavy scripts, and legacy logic improves responsiveness. Lightweight UI, optimized images, and caching matter more than visual complexity. And I should say that speed is one of the most underrated growth levels. Um, Again, I've seen lots of requests to improve the speed, and sometimes it was easier to rebuild the whole thing rather than just to increase the speed for few points in metrics. And when pages load instantly and checkout stays fast under load, every metric improves, from bounce rate to AOV. Conversion rate improves. So again, that's big. That this is sometimes underrated, but it's big. Um, and obviously integration and automation. We were connecting, again, we were migrating and connecting CRMs, ERPs, fulfillments, analytics, and marketing tools into one unified system. We automate product feeds, inventory syncs, and order workflows. Replace fragile custom scripts with stable Shopify native logic. Use APIs, webhooks, and schedule jobs to keep operations fast and predictable. And we're building a scalable ecosystem instead of patchwork or disconnected tools. So the bottom line of all that is strong integrations and automation turns Shopify from the storefront into operating system for your business. And again, I should emphasize on the fact that it's all out of the box. So most of the time, you don't need to figure out. Well, you need to figure out. You need to know how to do things. But if you don't, there are like tons of documentation. There are tons of videos. Like somebody has done the same thing, the similar thing before you, so you can learn from them. So, and when data flows cleanly and processes run automatically, brands scale without adding complexity. And again, if you're a growing brand, if you grow rapidly, then you don't have months for the new implementation, for another page in your story. You need to act fast, especially in our fast-moving world. You know that better than I do. So yeah, I think one of the big success in our history was this Aldo's coffee shop, and we did everything we talked about with you just like a few moments ago. The whole migration was done. We rethought the UI and UX for the website, for the product page and homepage, specifically all other pages. We reconnected and basically figured out how to create the wholesale experience on this website. I think it will be better even if you go find them, and their New York custom coffee roasting company. So go check their website. I personally tasted their product. It's amazing. I'm a big coffee lover. So if you're in New York or somewhere around like New Jersey, you should go try them and definitely visit their website, see what we have done, see how you like it. And again, if you want to build something like that for yourself, if you're ready, then yeah, you know how to reach out to me. Again, let's move on and talk about like the common mistakes that we learned that should be avoided. And again, if you know what you do, you would know about this stuff. So you're not migrating as is without fixing all UX and architecture issues. So that's a big no-no. And at the first place, if you're keeping them and taking them with you from the old setup, why you're migrating in the first place? So it's kind of useless. Skipping a full data audit, which is like the very first step. Broken SKUs, duplicating products, messy tags, and all that. Don't do that. Like the first step is very first. You don't ignore SEO. Without redirection plan, without you may lose that the metadata, the URL can mismatch. So please be careful about it, especially SEO, because it's really hard to build it, and it's really easy and fast to lose it. Launching without full Q&A. So some people may think, yeah, why do we need Q&A at all? It's kind of useless. Certain things works under certain cases. So I tested it out. My wife tested it out. Like I gave the website to a couple of my friends. It all seemed to be good. So why do I need to take and spend like extra time and money and efforts to do like the full Q&A. But that's I would say the approach which would lead to huge problems in the future, because there might be hidden checkout bugs, the slow PDP, because when you have like a nice Wi-Fi and everything works well, but then try to open the same thing through your regular mobile data provider, the things might be super slow, and obviously missing integrations. So you want to keep an eye on all that. And another big thing that again can be missed is trying to migrate everything at once instead of prioritizing essentials. Again, and this is why most of the migration, especially for big stores, they are cut into phases and milestones, because it's easier to eat the whole elephant in pieces, right? Most migration failures come from repeating old mistakes, not from Shopify itself. The key is treating migration as a redesign of the entire ecosystem, not a copy-paste experience, and that's definitely something that you want to avoid. Yeah, so moving on, that's the migration timeline. Like something I would say, the average project with the certain steps that we already discussed will consist of the following. The first month is discovery and audit. The second month is design and development. The third month is data migration and Q&A, and the fourth would be launch and optimization. So I would say, on average, it will take approximately like, well, again, depend on the size of the project, but 3 to 4 months, that's on average. I mean, unless it's something like super simple and easy to be done, and there are like no, I don't know, you just started on the market, but you for some reason you decided to develop your shop using Webflow or WooCommerce, and now you're like, okay, like I already have like some traffic a little bit, I already like run campaigns, I have like my data, like my products uploaded, but I want to migrate to Shopify. Then the amount of like the timeline might be shorter for you. But again, if you're a mature brand, that's something that we discovered is an average time that would take to do all these steps. And yeah, so every migration is different, but the structure is all the same. A clean Shopify launch comes from the pacing the project correctly, not rushing, not skipping steps, and optimizing continuously after the store goes live. So what a clean Shopify migration delivers? Well, just to start with, and again, one of the most important things is stable performance. A fast, reliable storefront that stays smooth under the high traffic and large catalogs. The second thing is, I need to mention, is the seamless UX. That's clean navigation, cleaner PDPs, like which are conversion rate optimized, faster checkout, and frictionless buying journey. And I think the last thing that I would want to mention would be the higher trust and conversion. A polished, consistent experience that makes customer feel confident, and this is what you want them to feel, because when customer is confident about your product, they feel more likely to buy from you, and obviously you would convert more of them to basically your followers, customers, and yeah. So successful migration isn't just about moving stores. It's about giving the brand a faster, cleaner, more trustworthy foundation that improves every key metrics. And I would say Yeah, we're almost at the end like of this session. So just want to go through the key takeaways and the recap. Um, well, first things first, plan before you build. We already talked about it, that there is nothing's gonna happen and nothing should happen without a solid plan. Simplify, don't over customize. Shopify as a system, it gives a lot out of the box. So you would go there and you would be wow, like some features, some things took months, sometimes even years for my previous development team developers to build them on my custom build, and Shopify gives that all like out of the box, like all the statistics, all the metrics, everything's calculated. So yeah, I mean, don't over yeah, don't do any of that. I mean, mm, don't over customize things. Now, uh, keep users and Google happy, and we already talked about it. That's improve the speed, and this is what we're gonna do, and this is what we're doing actually when we are migrating the website. So the users are happy, everything loads, everything's smooth, and regarding the Google, that's SEO. So keep an eye on that at all times. And yeah, I think long-term scalability. So all that combined will lead you guys to an easy way to scale your system without, I don't know, extra stress. So yeah, I mean, if you're ready to plan your migration, you can definitely plan that with us, with me and my team. If you're thinking about replatforming or already stuck in the chaos, let's talk architecture, not sales. We can help you evaluate your current setup, map risks, and build a clean, safe migration plan. I think like three clean, actionable points here would be: get a free migration audit with us. We'll identify and we'll evaluate your data, SEO, integrations, and risks. And again, that's for free. Ask your technical questions. Our team will share like real workflows, and eventually get the full chaos to check out checklist after this session. Uh, Make your next platform your growth engine, not just another build. Um, Again, I think that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you guys for being with me, for attending this session, and yeah, hope to talk to you in a bit. See ya.